And we're going to start off with some breathing and centering exercises. So I want you to start off just sitting comfortable wherever you are, whether you're on the floor or on a chair. You don't have to have your legs crossed if you're on the floor. Just whatever feels good. Hands up in your lap. Roll the shoulders back and down. If you're on the ground and this doesn't feel good, you can go ahead and sit up on a pillow or roll the blanket if that feels better, and that will help align your spine as well. If you want to close your eyes, you can. We're going to bring your focus to your breath. All right, so inhaling and exhaling. You can start off with through the nose, in and out through the nose, and then do what works for you. If it feels more comfortable to exhale out through your mouth, go ahead and do that. Relax your shoulders, relax your eyebrows, relax your jaw, and bring all your attention to your breath. And then start to make that breath a little deeper into your belly. As you inhale, feel your belly expand. And as you exhale, feel it deflate. If you want to, you can actually put your hands on your belly if you want to. Feeling a widening in your body at your abdomen, at your rib cage. Your shoulders should stay relaxed. The breath is lower than that. And then trying to make your inhalations last a little longer than your exhalations. You can take a little pause between the inhalation and exhalation, and that sometimes helps you able to do a longer exhalation. But don't force it. Let it come natural, as deep as you can take it. And as you inhale, I want you to feel some energy coming through your body, positive energy. And as you exhale, release any negative energy out to your body. And just keep breathing like that. Inhale positive energy and exhale the negative energy. And I want you to keep breathing like that. And I will read the first reading for today. Autumn is a season of change, a season of transition, a season of renewal. It's also a season filled with hustle and bustle. It's the time when children go back to school, young adults go away to college, and parents are pulled in 1,000 directions. Autumn is an exciting time, but in the midst of all of our activities, it's important to stay focused on God and make the most of every precious moment. If you had your eyes closed, you can go ahead and open them up. And just try to remember to breathe as deeply as you can throughout the class, especially when we're holding stretches. All right, we're going to start off with some range of motion just to get the blood flowing a little bit. So let's take the chin to the chest and then bring it back up to neutral, and then chin to chest and bring it back up to neutral. Couple more of those, chin to chest and back to neutral. One more time, chin to chest and back to neutral. Good. Gently turning your head to the right and center and left and center. And again, and only turning it as far as you're comfortable. We're just warming up through the neck, letting the fluid go into the joints and lubricate a little bit. Let's do one more each direction. And then bring it back to center. Good, now let's take the ear to the shoulder and back up to center, ear to shoulder, back up to center, ear to shoulder, ear to shoulder. One more each side. And bring it back to center. Good. Go ahead and release your hands from your lap and then draw your shoulders up and back. Inhaling, exhaling as you take the shoulders behind you. Let's do one more. Good. Now I want you to go one at a time. Just nice and gentle. Good. One more. And now both shoulders roll forward. Inhaling and exhaling. Good. And now one at a time, going forward. One more each side. Good. Now I want you to just gently kind of twist side to side. Just let your arms kind of come in front of you a little bit, side to side. Don't force it too much. We're just getting a little twist going through, working through your torso a little bit. Keep breathing. Good. And bring it to the center. Good. Now I want you to take an inhale up. Exhale, I want you to twist to the right. Good. Now inhale up to center and twist to the left. And keep doing that. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Inhale up. Exhale, twist left. Let's do one more each side. And to the right. And then up. And to the left. Good. Now I want you to take your hand and I want you to reach up and over, and then I want you to reach forward and through, and then other side. Lift up, and then like you're handing something to someone. Up, inhale, exhale. And I'm trying to keep my back on the flatter side as I go through the center, leaning from the hip. Inhale and exhale. One more. Inhale and exhale it up. Good. All right, let's go into your wrists. Let's flex and bend. So I'm working my way down the body here. Good. Now make a fist and flex and bend. Good. And now roll the wrists. Keep rolling, but open the hand. Good. And now go the other way. Keep rolling, but close that fist again. Good. Now open, spread, inhale, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, spread, exhale, squeeze. Inhale, spread, exhale, squeeze. One more time. And squeeze. Good. Roll it out. All right, let's go into cat and cow for our back. So flat back forward, inhale. Exhale, roll it up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, roll it up. Inhale, forward. Exhale, roll it up. A couple more times. Forward, lead with the heart. Exhale, roll it up. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, roll it up. Good. All right, we're going to go into the hips. If you're sitting on the chair, you're going to go over the stool, side to side, lifting that leg side to side. If you're on the ground, I'm going to turn sideways so you can see me better. We're going to lay on our back. And I'm actually going to turn this way. You can see the camera better. We're going to lay back and do hip circles this way. So again, if you're on the chair, legs going up over the stool and back to center. If you're on the floor, just let those knees and hips rotate away. Go the other direction if you're on the ground. Keep breathing either way. Breathing deeply. Good. If you're on the floor, on the ground, release your feet down. Take 1 foot up and down. 1 foot up and down. If you're sitting on the chair, you're extending and bending. Extending and bending. If you're on the ground, your foot's going to go more toward the ceiling. If you're on the chair, it's going to go more straight out in front of you. Just getting the fluid again and the blood flowing into the legs. Let's do 1 more each leg. Good. Now take your right leg out and roll the ankle. You can have the leg as high as you want if you're laying down. If you're on the chair, it's straight out in front of you. And then go the other way. Trying just to move that ankle, to move that foot. And now point and flex. Good. Release that other leg. Roll the ankle around. And switch the direction. And point and flex. And release that. All right, if you're on the ground, let's come back up to sitting. And I'm going to do my second reading. Autumn is the season to set godly priorities. From Psalm 90. So teach us to count our days, that we may gain a wise heart. We all have busy schedules, but even on our most hectic days, just as we make time to feed our bodies, it's also important to nourish our souls. Take time to listen for the still, quiet voice of God to see where He is leading. Autumn is a time when lots of invitations may come your way, but not every one of them is from God. As you reflect upon the opportunities before you, ask God for His wisdom as you plan your days. Autumn is the season to set our priorities in accordance with God's word. All right, we're going to stretch our chest. So if you're seated in the chair, or if you're on the floor, you can do this way too, all right? I want you to, if it's okay with your shoulders, I want you to try to put your hands behind you on the seat. So scoot a little bit forward if you're sitting in the chair. And then I just want you to lift your chest up toward the sky or the ceiling as much as you can. You should feel your chest open up. Now, if this bothers your shoulders, then bring it forward more and just try to rotate the shoulders back instead of having the hands way behind you. If you want to lay down to do this, you can just be on your back and just have your arms open to the sides, making the letter T with your body, and you'll feel that stretch come through your chest as well. And just breathe here. If you're on your back, just let your back arch naturally. Don't force it down. All right, if you're laying down, I want you to draw your knees up, and then I want you to let them go over to one side and turn your head in the opposite direction. Let me come up to the chair, and I will give you the chair version of that. So you're going to come up and you're going to put your knees one way this way and come this way. Normally we would be here with this, so this one's a little bit different. So you're going to take your knees over to the side, hands over, and you're going to twist. Now, if this bothers your back, you can come up taller and twist that way. If you are leaning down a little bit more, you're going to feel this a little bit more. So, and breathe. But again, if it bothers your back, come up a little bit taller and just twist around that way. Taking your knees opposite your head. Just breathe here. Gently release that, and you're going to switch sides, taking your feet over to the other side, knees over to the other side if you're laying down, and then I'm going to lean back, kind of roll that shoulder back if I'm in the chair, looking toward that shoulder, over that shoulder, and I'm going to come back down to the floor. Good, and gently release that. Bring your knees back to the center. If you're on the ground, I want you to draw your knees up, hug from underneath your thighs and pull them in. If you're seated on the chair, I want you to round forward into a cat. And I just wanted you to give your back a stretch. Relax the shoulders. Breathe. Good. Now, if you're on the ground, I want you to release your legs down. And you're going to cross one leg over the other. And then lift that bottom leg up off the floor, and you can hug underneath that bottom leg. Make sure you relax this bottom foot and just pull it in as far as you're comfortable. Okay, so that's if you're laying down. And I'm going to show you the same stretch seated. I'm going to give you a couple variations on this because not everybody can get their foot up here. So I want you to start off by, if you can get your foot up here, go ahead and do that. If you have problems doing that, I want you to start off a little bit more leaning and slide the foot up and see if you can do it that way with your leg a little bit more extended. If that's still too much, then you can drop it down a little bit. This is going to give you a little bit of that stretch more than if you're sitting up tall and just crossing this way. If you're leaning back a little bit, you'll feel it more if you can't make it all the way up. If you can make it all the way up with leaning, then see if you can pull that foot in a little bit. And I do feel this in my outer thigh and into my hip a little bit. Then if you feel good, you can come up and forward. So that's just one way you can get into that pose. This could be another reason to have that second chair. If it feels better to put the foot up on a chair instead of having it as close to your body, you can have that chair in front of you and put the foot up that way. So this is either a seated or a supine pigeon. And release that. And we're going to switch sides. Again, if you're on the chair and you're having trouble, you can lean back, slide the foot up as far as you can. Keep it extended if you need to. If you can, start to slide that foot in, slide it in, and then if you can lean forward, lean forward. So stop where it feels better for you. So I'm going to come back down to the floor for this and do the other side. So you should feel this in your glute and in your hip of that top leg. Relax the shoulders. And again, it should feel just a good stretch. It shouldn't hurt. So if it hurts, ease up. And release that. Uncross if you are on the ground. And again, we're going to stretch our back so you can hump the knees or go into a cat stretch, lean forward if you're sitting on the chair. And releasing out of that, coming up to sitting if you're on the floor. Autumn is the season to make every moment count. From Ecclesiastes. For everything there is a season and a time for every matter under heaven. As our schedules get busier with things starting up again, it's more important than ever to ensure that we spend quality time with God and one another. How do you make sure that God comes first on your busiest of days? Set aside time each day to pray. Make the most of every moment and use your time wisely. Make time for fun. Be sure to include seasonal activities that remind you of the beautiful world that God created and the countless ways that God blesses us each and every day. All right, if you're seated in the chair, how many of you go into that cat pose again? But instead of being here, I want you to really pull your navel in and round your lower back. If you're on the floor, you can come to all fours. And you're going to round your back up from here. If you're on the floor, make sure you don't lock out your elbows, but your hands should be right under your shoulders. If this bothers your wrists, you can make fists instead, and that will straighten your wrists out so that you're not bending them. And make sure you're putting your weight more into your knees than into your hands. Relax the shoulders. Now, if you're on the floor, I want you to take your feet together, your knees a little wider apart, and I want you to drop back into your bottom and take your hands out in front of you and going into child's pose. Go as deep as you're comfortable. If you need to have your bottom up a little bit, that's okay. Just drop it as far as you're comfortable. Seated in the chair, this is where you're going to need your second chair. You're going to put the chair out in front of you. You want to be able to reach it, but you don't want it too close, okay? So I'm sitting on the edge of my chair, and then I'm going to slide forward to the front chair, and then I'm going to push back into the chair I'm sitting on. So it's kind of the same thing that we're doing on the floor, pushing your bottom back as you're drawing your arms forward. Relax the shoulders out of your ears either way. Draw your navel in and just breathe. Now I'm just going to move my hands into a prayer position. So it's more your forearms are on the chair now in front of you. And it's the same thing if you're on the floor. Your arms are up by your ears more. If that's too deep for you on the chair here, then come up higher. Okay, then don't just skip that part and just do the hands flat on the chair. If you're able to do this, you should feel a nice stretch through your upper back and down your triceps, the backs of your arms. Try to let your head and your neck relax. Good. Take your hands flat again and gently roll yourself up. All right. You can move your chair to the side. We're going to go into a seated child, twisted child's pose now. So if you're sitting on the chair, let me get this out of the way. If you're sitting on the chair, you're going to turn sideways on the chair. And then I want you to twist toward the back of the chair. And you can put your head on your hands, and you should get a nice stretch through your back. Only twist as far as you're comfortable. So if it's too much to stretch all the way, take it a little bit more off on an angle. All right. If you're on the floor, you're going to need your pillows. So you're going to sit sideways like the mermaid pose, and then you're going to twist toward your pillows. You're going to go as far down as you're comfortable. If this is too much, then don't go that far, or try to make your pillows taller if you need to. So again, you're getting that stretch through your side of your back, through your lats. And again, if it's too much, then ease up. Try to breathe as deep as you can. Good, and release out of that. And if you're on the chair, face your other way with your legs. I'm just taking my pillows to the other side here. And then twisting away, again, away from your legs. And just notice if one side feels tighter than the other, then you might want to do this a little longer or maybe a little more often than the other side, just to try to get them even. And slowly release that and come back to the center. All right, if you're on the floor, we're going to go to all fours. And we're going to do a wrist stretch. And I will show you seated in a minute. So you're just going to take your hand and put the back of the hand down. And then just kind of lift up and you'll feel that stretch go into your wrist. If this doesn't feel good, this is a pretty deep wrist stretch. If it doesn't feel good, you can come to sitting, palm down, and just pull back from the knuckles. Make sure you're not grabbing from the fingertips, you're grabbing from the knuckles, and you're pushing the front of your wrist forward. Relax the shoulders either way. Shake that out. Same thing on the other side. Pull back, or if you're on all fours, taking that other top of the hand down and then lifting up a little bit. Trying to not put too much weight into that opposite hand. If you're on all fours, kind of shift your weight back more into your knees. Good, and release that and shake it out. All right, coming back to sitting if you were on all fours. Autumn is the season to thank God for his many blessings. From Psalm 67, the earth has yielded its increase. God, our God, has blessed us. Autumn is also a season of thanksgiving. It's a season of praise. It's a season to gather with family and friends to thank God for the many blessings he has bestowed upon us. It's a season to share the love of Jesus with others by blessing them with the gifts that he has so generously shared with us. How can we use the gifts that God gives us to minister to others? All right, we're going to finish with our shoulders and neck. So we're going to go into an eagle stretch for the shoulders. It's a little bit deeper. So I'm going to take my hands out in front of me, cross one arm over the other. You want to try to cross at the crook of the elbow if you can. So I'm not crossing way up here and I'm not crossing at my wrist. I'm trying to cross right at the crook of my elbow. Now there's 3 levels to this. Level 1 is to give yourself a hug. If that feels okay, level 2 is to do back of the hand to back of the hand. Level 3 is to do palm to palm. Shoulders are down, so you should feel the stretch through that top shoulder. And if you're crossed like me, you want to try to point those fingers up toward the sky and then relax the shoulders down and just breathe. And this should wrap to your upper back as well, especially on that top shoulder. If this is too much, give yourself a hug instead. Good, now I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm just going to hinge at the hip, pull the navel in like you're bowing, and then bring it back up again. And again, bow, inhale. Exhale, come up tall. One more time. And exhale, come up tall. Good. Go ahead and release that. Give it a little roll. And now you're going to switch the arms. The other one on top. And one side might be different than the other, so just listen to your body. So start off with the hug. Back of the hand to the back of hand, or palm to palm, whatever feels better. Relax the shoulders, fingertips up to the ceiling, even if you're back of the hand, back of the hand. Just breathe. And again, just notice if one side is different than the other, and you may know why if one side is different than the other, if you've got a shoulder issue. And again, let's take that bow, inhale. Exhale it up. Again, inhale. Exhale it up. Good. One more time. Inhale. And exhale it up. Good. And release that and give it another roll. All right, let's finish with your neck. I'm going to always do your neck because we carry so much tension in our necks. So let's start off with the ear to the shoulder. Release that opposite arm away. Now, if this is enough stretch for you, you can stay here. If you want to deepen it a little bit, you can take your hand and gently pull the head a little bit more. Make sure you don't lift the shoulder up as you're doing that. Keep the shoulders down and keep breathing. And right now, my nose and my chin are facing out to the room. Breathe. And now gently turn your head like you're trying to look under your arm, towards your armpit. Good, and gently release that. Roll it out. And then take your ear to your opposite shoulder, the other one. Release that opposite arm down and away. And then if you want to deepen this side, you can gently pull on your head. Relax the shoulders, both of them. Breathe. Again, your nose and chin are facing out toward the room right now. And then go ahead and gently turn your head toward that armpit again. And release that. And we'll roll your head side to side, roll your shoulders. And we're going to finish with the back of the neck. So let's take the chin to the chest, roll the shoulders back and down. You can stay here, or you can gently take your hands toward the back of your head a little bit, like right at the crown, and gently pull down so that your chin is going a little deeper into your chest. Relax the shoulders and let your elbows just kind of come forward. Good, and release that. And bring the head up to neutral. Good. If you're on the floor, if you want to lay down, you can. We're going to go into a reflection, like a Shavasana, or you can stay seated. Palms up, shoulders back and down. Just like we did at the beginning, I want you to just bring your focus to your breath. There's my water. Trying to take your inhalation and your exhalation as deep as you can. Trying to get that exhalation deeper than the inhalation. And adding that pause between helps. But let it come on the more natural side. Hopefully, as we do this, you'll be able to take that exhalation longer and longer. This is something that you can practice. It's just a good meditative thing to do. Plus, it's good for your body to be breathing this way. We should all be breathing deeper. And again, I want you to pull that positive energy in as you breathe in. Let it be a relaxing, positive energy. And as you exhale and release out the negative, feel your body relax deeper. From Ephesians, as you sing psalms and hymns and spiritual songs amongst yourselves, singing and making melody to the Lord in your hearts, giving thanks to God the Father at all times and for everything in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ. God blesses us in so many ways, both material and spiritual. As you reflect upon the gifts of the season, what are you particularly grateful for during this time in your life? In what ways is God providing for your physical, emotional, spiritual, and material needs? Bring your focus back to your breath. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. If you're lying down, you can come up to sitting. When you're ready, you can open up your eyes. And let's finish with a couple of deep breaths. Big inhale. Exhale to heart center. One more time, inhale. And exhale to heart center. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. Have a good rest of your evening, and I hope to see you next week.